Shalom, party people, and welcome to the 12th Seas Toolbox. Today, I want to go over this set of Icon Stubby SAE wrenches. Part number on these is going to be 64707. And this is a handshake on these. I bought these. They were doing a wrench sale where it was it like 40%, I think, off of a couple of different sizes or a couple of different styles of wrenches. And I really just wanted to see what these were all about. These MSRP at 40 bucks. And for 40 bucks, I was like, let's see how these things go. Before we go any deeper, let's go to our scripture of the week. Deuteronomy 4:41 through 43. Then Moses set apart 3 cities in the east beyond the Jordan, that the manslayer might flee there. Anyone who kills his neighbor unintentionally without being at enmity with him in time past, he may flee to one of those cities and save his life. Bears in the wilderness in the tableland of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead, the Gadites, and Golan, the Bashan, for the Manassites. Moses is establishing 3 cities of refuge, and if you read in other passages that talk about the establishment of these cities of refuge, it's essentially you are like out in the woods or whatever, and you're chopping down a tree, and the axe flies off, the axe head flies off the handle, and it accidentally kills somebody, and there wasn't bad blood in this or anything, and it's legit an accident. There is a city that you can flee to, so that way one of these dudes' relatives isn't going to come after you and try and avenge you. You'd have to go into the city and plead your case to the elders, and the elders would investigate, and they'd say yes or no. So it wasn't just a free ticket out. They wanted to know that you weren't lying to them, and they want to know that this wasn't a cold-blooded killing, that it was something that this was legit just an accident. There's a concept that not many of us are familiar with. It's called the kinsman avenger. You may have heard of the kinsman redeemer, who comes in and helps bail you out of your debts, or levirate marriages, someone who hasn't had a son to help take care of her. But the kinsman avenger, this is the other duty of a brother. Your brother dies, and now you are to go and avenge his death. And that is an honor-bound duty that happens. And it's exclusive to when it was a cold-blooded killing, or it was, a long-standing feud or something to that effect, where you're going and you're snuffing out what happened. But this city of refuge is supposed to be there to protect someone from an angry brother, an angry cousin who never believes that story. That story may be true, but they never believe it. And they're like, this guy, he killed my family member. And the thing about the city of refuge is if you step outside of it, you're fair game, and the person who is after you can come kill you if you step 1 foot outside of that city of refuge. But if you live your whole life hanging out in the city of refuge until the death of the high priest, and that's the kicker right there, the death of the high priest is what sets you free, then you may go home. But until then, you must stay in the city of refuge. Are you seeing the gospel in that aspect of the city of refuge? That we have committed crimes, and there is a blood guilt that is owed because of those crimes that we've committed. And maybe we even did some of these unintentionally. But still, that crime has happened. We can flee to Yahweh, and He will shelter us, ironically, from Himself. But He will shelter us. We're literally clinging on to what the elders have established in that city. In some level, you could actually cling on to the very horns of the altar itself. But what's going on is we must dwell with Yahweh forever in that. And guess what has set us free? Death of the high priest. And Yeshua is our great high priest. And he died for us and quite literally set us free of the guilt of that sin. So, really cool gospel implications in that. But yeah, the manslayer might flee there. Anyone who kills his neighbor unintentionally without being at enmity with him in the past, he may flee to one of these cities and save his life. And then Moses talks about the 3 that have been established so far. And there's more to come as the land expands, which is really cool. All right, back up top. So, stubby wrenches. I do not reach for stubby wrenches that frequently, but I have run into several situations where I was borrowing friends' stubby sets. It's like, okay, I borrowed the tool 7-8 times. It is more than time for me to go pick up a set. These are nice. For $40, I'd buy these at full price. And that is just a handshake assessment. Because sometimes I have really, really needed a shorter wrench to be able to get in, get on something, turn it, just because I don't have the space for it. Are these a need to have right out of the bat? No. But they've already saved my butt a couple of times, and being able to grab the wrench that I need and go in and move it is super nice. Now, do I need the 1/4 inch style because of the ignition wrenches that I have? No. Not particularly, but it's nice to have an extra one. This one's a little beefier than the other 1/4 inch size, so it's nice to have some options that are out there. But being able to go in, get in behind something, and actually turn it, use it for what I need it. Sometimes, I've got something that's in 5/8, and I have to actually get a hand in, and the hand is all the space that I have, and so that doesn't hardly stick out anymore. So getting the boxed in on something and having just a little bit of space to turn it. Sometimes having some specialty wrenches like that is well worth it. I want to continue to, update you guys 6 months, a year, 2 years into this and show how these things are holding up. For the number of times that I have needed coworkers' sets because I didn't have my own set of stubby wrenches. I don't know how it took me this long in maintenance to actually invest in a stubby set, but this set already has paid for itself just in its its usefulness that's there, and then not having to borrow somebody else's set. Except $40, that's worth it without getting a discount on it. And the fact that Harbor Freight was running a really smoking deal and I needed the set at the time, I just went ahead and picked it up. I think that a stubby set of wrenches is a very useful tool, even if it is not the most necessary thing to have in your box. Because every so often you run into that space where having that shorter is very nice. I mean, I know guys who were cutting wrenches for the longest time because they were just not happy with the length that they got, and they needed to get in somewhere and manufacture something. And it's the wrong angle for a crow's foot. It doesn't work out. And so being able to, hey, I can get my hand in there, but I really can't do much else past that. The stubbies just come in handy. The tray that they're putting all their icon stuff in right now, it is what it is. I'm still playing with how I want to integrate the set into my toolbox, but for now I had a drawer that didn't have a lot of things in there, and so I just tossed these in like they sit. For what it's worth, this doesn't really shift around a ton in the drawer, just moving. And I'm in a mobile setup where I've got my box on a tool truck, an old tool truck, and it doesn't shift around in there. And I kind of thought it would. So if you've got the space, you can use these trays in your boxes. I know that's how they do in the displays all the time. I prefer the toolbox foam method, and I'm just kind of playing around with how I want to lay these out. But I like this set, and so I'm more intrigued to just kind of go and play with some more of the the Icon wrenches. Like I said, in several of my other videos, I really think that Icon is replacing Craftsman, just in the quality of the tool that you're getting for not that much money, and you can walk in warranty on these. So for a handshake, you know, I don't have 6 months or a year in these. I don't have 2 years in these, but I fully plan on it. And for a handshake, like, I'm already ready to buy these again. So yeah, I can't 100% rubber stamp something saying these are the best things since sliced bread, but they've already pulled my hiney out of the fire. So I like having them, and for $40, I'd pick them up again. So go do hard things.